This is Unit 1, Lesson 1, an Introduction to Geometric Constructions. I'm not going to go over the vocabulary here. We went over that in class. I'm going to re-go over what we did in class in this first video, and then I will make a second video for what you were to have done at home on your own so that you can use that to review for any quizzes or tests. Again, the vocab, we went over that in class. You made those cards in class, so I'm not going to do that here. So step 1 says to draw a point and label the point N. Remember that points are labeled with a capital letter. It says use your compass to draw a circle centered at N. So I have my compass point at N, and I'm going to make a circle. Okay, remember how far you open your compass is a radius. So we are going to draw a radius from the center to any point on the edge of the circle. And they said to label the endpoint of that radius E. And they said to draw a diameter, so I'm going to extend the line to the other end. Remember, a diameter goes from one end of the circle through the center to the other end of the circle. And they want us to label that endpoint D. It says to draw another radius and label the endpoint of that radius A. So again, the radius goes from the center to the edge of the circle. And we'll label that endpoint A. So there's our picture. Are NE and NA lines or line segments? They are line segments because they have a length, because they end. Remember, lines are infinite, so they do not have a length. What do we know about the lengths of radius NE and NA? They are equal. And the geometry term that means same shape and same size or equal in measure is called congruent. And we made a vocabulary card for this term. You can check the Unit 1 vocabulary in Schoology to see what that vocab card looked like. The symbol we use is the equal sign with the squiggle on top. That means congruent. If we were to draw another radius NQ, how would it compare to the previous two radii? So these are all radii. They are all congruent to one another. Remember that those little dashes mean congruent. So if I were to draw another radius and label that endpoint Q, that radius would also be congruent to the previous two radii. So all radii of the same circle, radii is the plural for radius, are congruent or equal to one another. Right? So a geometric construction is a set of instructions for drawing points, lines, circles, and figures in the plane. The only tools used in a geometric construction are a compass and a straight edge. Which is also known as a ruler. Back in Euclid's day, which he was Greek, they did not have markings on their ruler, so it was just a straight edge, something that made straight lines. Okay, so the main part of the circle that allows the constructions to work is the radius, or the radii. So we're going to construct a circle C using CD as the radius. Keep in mind that circles are named for their center. So if they want a circle C, we are going to center that circle at C. So I put my compass point at C, open it the length of the radius CD, kind of like we're copying the segment here, and we'll go all the way around, maybe, if it wants to work. Oops. There we go. Sorry about that, the page got moved around a bit. So it says to draw and label points A, B, E, and F on the circle. We will do that. Doesn't matter where they are. B, E, F. And then it says to construct, meaning draw, the radii, or these segments, A to C, F to C, E to C, and B to C. What conclusion can you make about these line segments? They are congruent. Here we go again with the moving of the document. Or equal in length to one another. Explain your reasoning. So you have to say, what is your conclusion? Why are you making that conclusion? All right, explain is a common verb that you will see on the Regents exam. They are congruent to one another. Why do we know this? They are all radii to the same circle. So radii of congruent circles are congruent. Right? So if we want to construct a circle Q such that circle Q and the circle below, which we would again name by its center, so circle A, are congruent, that's what this symbol means. They want us to create that circle Q and draw and label a radius QR. So here is my point. That's going to be my center for Q. We're going to need our compass. Oh boy, here's another one. Sorry, it doesn't put the compass where I need it to be. We want to measure the radius of circle A. There we go. So that is AB, the radius of circle A. We're going to transfer that to our center Q, and we're going to make our circle using the compass. And it wanted us to label a radius QR, so we will do that as well. QR. Again, you should use your ruler to make any segments or lines. Write a congruent statement about radius AB and radius QR. AB is congruent to QR. So if two or more circles are congruent, then their radii are congruent or equal in length. And that is just about everything we got to in class. Again, I will make a video for the remaining examples in this lesson.